So I'll just probably do a 2-minute kirtan, Prabhu Jai Radha Madhav, and then begin as Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj said.
Yes, please.
Mood create hota hai.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Piravanachari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Piravanachari Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jayo Radhe Shyam Jayo Radhe Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayan Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayotire Nashtaprayeshu Putreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamastoti Bhakti Bhavati Nastike Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Paramami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुरेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त नामिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणां परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् आनन्दलीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाङ्गदिव्याचं सुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम सत्प्रदाय श्री चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। श्री चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। श्री चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते। Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 8th chapter, text 24, entitled Brahma's Manifestation. Okay, text 24. प्रेक्षां क्षिपन्तं हरितोपलाद्रेः सन्ध्याभ्रनिवेरुरुक्ममूर्तनः रत्नो ददारौ सदिशौ मनस्य वनस्रजो वेणु भुजाङ्घ्रिपाङ्ग्रेः। Yes, Prabhu. I believe how I should read the translation, or you all will read the translation and talk.
We will read.
We will read.
Great, good.
The luster of the transcendental body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. The coral mountain is very beautifully dressed by the evening sky, but the yellow dress of the Lord mocked its beauty. There is gold on the summit of the mountain, but the Lord's helmet, bedecked with jewels, mocked it. The mountains, waterfalls, herbs, etc., with a panorama of flowers seen like garlands, but the Lord's gigantic body and his hands and legs decorated with jewels, pearls, tulsi leaves, and flower garlands mocked the scene of the mountain. The panoramic beauty of nature, which strikes one with wonder, may be taken as a perverted reflection of the transcendental body of the Lord. One who is therefore attracted by the beauty of the Lord is no longer attracted by the beauty of material nature, although he does not minimize its beauty. In Bhagavad Gita 2.59, it is described that one who is attracted by Param, the Supreme, is no longer attracted by any other inferior. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, here in this verse, we're describing about what Brahma's, from his heart, he's able to visualize the beauty of the Lord. In the previous verses, we've seen that Lord Brahma is born, and then he tries to find out his source. He wants to know from where his presence is coming. He tries to search. He goes down. He doesn't see everything. Is what he sees is darkness around. He comes down, and then he happens to hear the sound of the waves hitting the mountain, tapa, 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 and then he goes up, and then he sits back in his asana, and then he meditates. Within, that's the previous two verses from before, where he meditates for almost around 100 celestial years. So his lifespan, as you know, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, that is very, very vast. So he has 100 celestial, means the ages of the devatas. And so after the 100 celestial years, the Lord actually reveals from within his heart, and this beautiful form is then described and depicted, which these verses Maitreya is describing to Vidura after he has heard from his teachers, from his Parasar Muni, and Parasar Muni has heard it from Sahayagna Muni, and then from there he has heard it from Sanat Kumaras. So this way the whole parampara system is going on. If you see, the whole discussion is between someone who's seeking, jigyasa, he's trying to inquire, and someone who has heard it and then who's saying it. So this is generally the process which is called the descending process, or avaroha pantha. There is aroha, there is ascending process, and there is avaroha. Avaroha, the word avaroha, you can correlate with many words like avatar, avarana, anything that is descending. Or like Avirbhav Divas, we celebrate the appearance day. Tirubhav Divas, when we celebrate the discipline. So avaroha, avatar, avaran, or even the word avaroha pantha means the descending process where the knowledge is received from the Guru Parampara, from the teacher towards the student, and not the process where it's ascending, where you try to speculate or analyze that. So Prabhupada gives various examples with regard to this, that how this perfect knowledge which is received through Guru Parampara system. Many a times we have heard this, that there is something called as, in our offices or when we learn, something called as Chinese whispers. By the time the 10th person, from the first person, what he has said is something completely different. So in this case, then why is it that it cannot get adulterated? It depends on the sincerity of the listener. If the person is listening from a source that is pure, for instance, the sages or the sadhus, or in case Parikshit Maharaj is listening from Sukdev Goswami, or Viduru is listening from Maitreya in this case, they have all heard this and they have practiced it, they have realized it, and because they are pure and sincere, the transcendental message, when it is heard by the listener, who is also very qualified to listen and hear in all sincerity, then the knowledge is properly received. And that is why it is not that it has not deviated, like Prabhupada and Krishna also says that evam parampara praptam evam rajarshi sakalena mahata yoga nashta parampara. This yoga, this has also delineated. So in time it does happen because of some wrong delineation from the real path. That is why you have sampradayas and upasampradayas, which means there are divisions that come in. So here we are fortunate that the knowledge received is given as it is. The more you try and mixture it with your thought processes of aroha pantha, ascending, speculating, that is when the issues will happen. So Brahma is born, and generally when we know that in this material world, when someone is born, there is many samskars that is followed. So generally when the child is born, there is something called immediate, that is the samskar that is called as jata karma samskar. And then after that is namkaran samskar. So Brahma is born. So who did the jata karma samskar? First of all, he didn't have his own parents in terms of material parents that he was born. That's why he's called Swayambhu. One of Brahma's name is Swayambhu, Swa. On his own, he has appeared. On his own, he has appeared in the senses because the source is the Lord. And not that he has appeared on his own. It is because of the Lord that he has appeared. So, because he has no material parent, that is why he's called Swayambhu. Because he is a Jiva Tattva. Every Jiva Tattva has to have parents. But in his case, he has appeared by the mercy of the Lord. That's why he's called Swayambhu. And someone asked a very interesting question that, like how Namkaran Samskar is done. So, how Brahma got his name? Brahma. So, generally in Vedic understanding, we understand that names are received through guna and karma. So, Brahma was born for a purpose, and what was the purpose? Was to progenate, to create, or to expand the universe. That's why his name, Brahma. Bra means to expand. Expand what? The universe. So Brahma means to expand the universe. So that's how, because of his activity, he got his name. Similarly, he was born Swayambhu. He appeared through the mercy of the Lord, so that's why he's called Swayambhu. He's also called as Adi Kavi, the first poet or the first living being who is, in a very poetic way, describes the glories of the Lord. This is why, after this wonderful appearance of the Lord within his heart, it's not that he's seeing it externally, he's seeing it internally, inside. The Lord has appeared within his heart, and this is the appearance that he's got. The Lord's appearance, which is there, which is so beautifully described. We can discuss a little bit on this verse. I was just trying to give a little background. So, about Brahma's position and how the Lord revealed himself to the devotee, which is in this case Lord Brahma. So, Brahma tried to search externally his source, and he couldn't reach anywhere. And then he sat down and then he meditated internally. So the point here is that externally we might try to search around for many things, search around for happiness, search around for certain things that will give us some direction. But actually speaking, it really doesn't make us happy. What makes us happy is when we actually when we internalize. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita it is said that samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo yona evate adi vanta kaunteya na teshu ramate Buddha. Buddha means someone who is intelligent. He does not look at things externally outside. Someone might say, Are boss, how is it possible? If I want to have a nice house, I have to search something outside for a nice house. If I want a job, I have to go outside to get a job. If I need to eat something, I need to go outside to eat something. But if you look overall, all of this will only give you satisfaction inside. You eat something very nice, you feel satisfied inside. You feel the taste and you feel very satisfied inside. You have some house, then you feel satisfied inside. You have a nice job, you feel satisfied inside. So everything has to be satisfied internally. But what happens when we look externally? The problem is it has a beginning, it has an end. And the wise, as it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, no teshu ramate Buddha. He does not look out to try and enjoy from things externally. He tries to internalize things, tries to try to get happiness within inside. So, in order for him to get happiness, he had to meditate on the Lord and he had to do tapa. So, if you want to, first of all, get purified, one has to engage in some service. So, service will lead to some purification. And purification, with purification, you will be able to serve better. This is why it is also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshina. You go to a tattvadarshi, you get knowledge by what? By inquiring and then sevaya, by doing service. So in order to serve better, you need to get purified. And for purification, you need to hear or you need to meditate. Like when we were talking about this Jata Karma Samskar, if you know that when Parikshit was born, Daumya and Kripacharya were invited by Yudhishthira Maharaj to actually chant verses within the presence of the child. Generally, when Jata Karma Samskar is done, the mantras are chanted in the ear of the child by the father or by anyone spiritual. The reason is why? Because the child, leads a very spiritual path. He gets the first knowledge through hearing. Many a times I've heard from devotees that during the birth of a child, the process is also to give ghee. What we have heard from devotees, we've heard many devotees who have done is they've had ghee, they've touched the ghee, and they've recited the entire verses of the Bhagavad Gita. And after that, when the child is born, they take the ghee and they touch the ghee's tongue. So that the whole process is that he becomes a nice devotee, and that's what Prabhupada also is the thought process that, generally devotees, when the child is born, they try and engage, try and do this process so that the child becomes a devotee. So in this case, if you see, Brahma, he meditated internally, and with that, the Lord revealed himself, and the Lord revealed about his beautiful form. Generally, when we look at things externally, what it does is it just increases our ahankar. It just increases our pride. You have a big house, you feel satisfied, but you get more satisfied when you show it to others. That is generally the increase of ahankar. You have a lot of money, you want to show it. So that increases ahankar. You have a lot of knowledge, it increases, you try to show it. That increases ahankar. But for a devotee, antaratmanaha, like in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmanaha. He withdraws all his senses and he engages in devotional service. Externally, yes, by taking, but what is that? That is in connection with the Lord. And internally, he practices devotional service. In the sense, everything that is done externally, chanting, meditating the Lord, it just helps him and purifies his existence. So the point here is that one has to internalize for any happiness, not externalize, because it only increases his ahankar. So many a times it is said that a devotee, he likes to be in solitude. Solitude means to be alone. So the reason why, or in a secluded place, the reason is why he can then meditate, he can then internalize, he can then grow. And also it is said that when you are in seclusion, then you are able to create. And that creation comes when you are actually doing some tapa, like for instance, some austerity. By tapa, you get empowerment. And with empowerment, you're able to then do an activity. So in this case, Brahma is supposed to create or expand the universe. So he's being empowered by the Lord. So the Lord is very kind. The Lord is appearing himself in front of him. And in this case, if you see the verse, in this verse specifically, the beauty of the Lord is described. And the beauty of the Lord cannot be compared, if you go to this verse, cannot be compared with anything material. Here, as the translation goes, the luster of the transcendent body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. So coral mountains, generally you find them in certain shallow reefs. I was just going through the net and I said, where are these coral mountains that you can find? And then it took me to a couple of them. It took me to Lakshadweep, it took me to Fiji Islands, it took me to somewhere in Australia. So these are areas where you can find these coral reefs. And I went into the image to try and see how beautiful it is, and it was really beautiful. So the Bhagavatam is explaining that yes, in comparison here, uh, when the translation of Prabhupada mentioned the lust of the transcendent body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. So the coral mountain, beautiful, but it mocked the beauty. And you say the beauty of the Lord was so beautiful that it just mocked the coral mountain. And it also explains that the coral mountain, it gets more beautiful when it's dressed in the evening. By how? By the sun. The sun, the dusk of in the evening when the sun is setting, it creates a kind of a hue around the mountain of the coral, which looks very beautiful. But this completely, the form of the Lord completely defeats uh, this beautifully, dressed coral mountain that is explained here. There is gold on the summit of the mountain, but the Lord's helmet, bedecked with jewels, mocked it. So anything that is being seen as beautiful in the material world, uh, if you see from a devotee's vision, he doesn't deride it, but he actually sees that how beautiful the Lord has created just by seeing the beautiful, scenic beauty. Let's say even the Coral Mount. I have not seen it physically, but on the image when you see it so beautiful. This you see, and then you see the Lord's hand within this. That how beautiful the Lord will be. If the Lord has created all of this, then how beautiful the Lord will be. Many a times devotees say this also, that if you go to the supermarket and if you see so many fruits and so many vegetables, and how the Lord is so kind, that all of this just manifests by His mercy. How kind, and it's all coming from the earth. So much of abundance of everything that is there for the living being is being given by the Lord. So the Lord's devotees, the important point is that He's very grateful when He sees all of this manifestation of the Lord. That's why the purport, if you see, these are nothing but a perverted reflection of the transcendental body of the Lord. So whenever you see anything beautiful, we see it as a reflection of the transcendental, beautiful body of the Lord, which at the moment Brahma is witnessing. Brahma is seeing it, and how wonderfully it is being described here by Vidura. And the Lord's devotees are able to witness and see all of this by the Lord's presence in everything that is there. That's the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that it makes you conscious. Uh, uh, it is not very static. Bhakti is not static. Bhakti is ecstatic. Means everything that is seen with the vision that Krishna's presence is there. If you go to Srila Prabhupada as well, I mean, even in humor, once he was sitting in the flight and he saw the Charlie Chaplin's movie, and his servant and his secretary all sitting beside him. And they saw Prabhupada smiling and grinning, and they said, Prabhupada, there was this talk, that we're not supposed to see movies, this, that. And then they asked Prabhupada that, I mean, we're supposed to see, we're not supposed to see movies. And he said that, yeah. But what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing the humor aspect that is there in Charlie Chaplin, that is coming from the Lord. So the pure devotee sees everything in relation with Krishna. And that is why bhakti is very ecstatic, it's not very static. You see devotees, they're always very enthusiastic. The reason is why? Because they're feeling so much happy. They're feeling so much happiness. When they actually meet up with devotees in an association of Sangha, you feel so happy. And then they take their time out. and everyone needs this space. And then they internalize. How is that? By then doing your japa. That is your internal process, where you spend time yourself. So it is not wrong to to be secluded, because it's a choice that the devotee has taken. Generally, people mistake it seclusion as being very lonely, but loneliness or being lonely is not a choice. You've not chosen to be lonely. It has become. The situation has created loneliness. We see, for instance, old people. I mean, when the children are no more, they feel so lonely. Somebody who has lost his wife, he feels very lonely. That's a situation that has been created. It's not that he has chosen to become lonely, because loneliness will get into a lot of depression and all that. But when a monk or a spiritual person takes time out and tries to be secluded, it is because he wants to internalize. And when he internalizes, when he does his devotional service more stronger internally, then what happens is that I was listening to a class and it says that he's able to then create. I've seen many business people, they generally take their time out. For instance, I know some of them who wake up early in the morning at maybe 3, 4 o'clock. I had this businessman of mine, and I used to ask him how he makes decisions. So he says, I make the best decisions of my life during before sunrise. So I was devotees generally we wake up in the morning and then we during Brahma Muhurt and we chant Krishna's name. This is also to internalize and our advancement grows. But for a businessman, he finds that time so very practical to make decisions, unfortunate, for material gain. But he doesn't know that, it will not keep him at all happy. But just to have an understanding that they try and internalize themselves, and then they want to make those right decisions. Why? Because at that time it's very peaceful. So they take their own time out, and then they can make decisions or create or do something, something very innovative. That's why you find writers, they like to be in a very secluded place. They like to write things. So similarly, here Brahma, it's not that he has chosen to be alone, there was nobody else. But by situation, he was lonely. But what did he do? He did not get despondent. He did not, cry on a situation. He did not get depressed. What did he do? He internalized and he thought about the Lord. And by doing so, what happens is then you are able to visualize and think about the Lord. And that is what here the purport very clearly says, that that it is but a perverted reflection of the transcendent body of the Lord. One who is therefore attracted by the beauty of the Lord is no longer attracted by the beauty of material nature. And it's a fact. Param Drishtva Nivartate. If this verse Prabhupada is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, 259, Vishaya Vinivartante, Nirahasya Dehnaha, Raso Varjam Rasopyasya, Param Drishtva Nivartate. It is the Param Drishtva, the topmost taste that he has received, Param. And that is why he doesn't want anything inferior. And generally, anything material is always inferior in taste than anything spiritual. This is why if we actually, those who are practicing devotional service will then correlate with this, that what they were before and how they are today. The reason is because the taste has increased. And this is what the Lord does. As soon as you engage yourself in devotional service of the Lord, then what happens is naturally the consciousness changes and you become happy. So that's this verse, text 24. Is there anyone who has any Any clarification or question on this verse, then we can go to the next. Okay, let's go to text one. Ayamato vishta rata swamana dehena lokatraya sangrahena vichitra divya bharana sukhana krita sriyapa shrita vesha deha. Yeah, translation about it.
Hare Krishna. Translation. His transcendental body, unlimited in length and breadth, occupied the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. His body was self-illuminated by unparalleled dress and variegatedness and was properly ornamented. Purport. The length and breadth of the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead could only be measured by his own measurement because he is all pervading throughout the complete cosmic manifestation. The beauty of material nature is due to his personal beauty, yet he is always magnificently dressed and ornamented to prove his transcendental variegatedness, which is so important in the advancement of spiritual knowledge. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yes. So here we see that the Lord's body is, as being described as unlimited in length and breadth, occupied the three planetary systems. So in one way, the Lord is manifesting his entire form as the Paramatma feature, but not only just the Paramatma feature, but the feature in 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 a larger aspect, where the three planetary systems are completely seen by Brahma. Not only the three planetary systems, he's also seeing Sheshnag also. Generally, we understand that the Paramatma feature is four-handed form. But in this case, he is not only seeing the Lord's beautiful form, he is also seeing Sheshnag, he is also seeing the planetary systems within the body of the Lord. This is like the Vishwarupa form, but seeing within his heart, not like how Arjun saw something external when he was in the Kurukshetra battlefield. He also saw. But if you see the pastime where Krishna ate mud and then Yashoda Mai wanted to see what he had eaten, and when he opened it, she saw the entire universe is within uh, Krishna's mouth. Similarly, here Brahma is seeing, but he's seeing the beautiful transcendental form of the Lord, in which all of this three planetary systems is being covered. And he's pervading everywhere. This is why Brahma, in his Brahma Samhita, he glorifies that the Lord is all pervading. He's present in every atom of the universe. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastha Paramanu. In every atom of the universe, the Lord has manifested himself in his beautiful, in this cosmic manifestation. Here, Brahma is seeing this beautiful form of the Lord. And here it is mentioned that was properly ornamented. And Prabhupada also mentions here in the purport that he is always magnificently dressed and ornamented to prove his transcendental variegatedness. As we discussed before, that it is not, bhakti is not static, is ecstatic. Similarly, the Lord has got multiple forms, unlimited forms. Advaitam, Achyutam, Ananta Rupam, Adhyam Purana Purusham. He's got Ananta Rupam, variegatedness, so much of varieties, different modes. Lord Narsingadev appeared in a very Ugra Rupam to kill the demon Hiranyakashipu. He appeared as Vamanavatar, as a small dwarf. He appeared as Lord Rama, two-handed form, green color body, a very goodness. Different bhav. He appears as Vishnu, Narayan, as a different Dasya bhav. Some in Sakya bhav, some in Vatsalya Bhava. So like this, the Lord has got various forms. Ananta Rupam is only thing to increase the rasa of the devotee. That is why Krishna's another name is Rasaraj. He is the king of all rasas. So similarly, as he has unlimited bodies, but Adyam Purana Purusham, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Anantam, Adhyam Purana Purusham now Yavanamcha. But he's always beautiful, young. Now you're one. All of this. So that's the beauty of the Lord. So what can be compared as Prabhupada? And the beauty of material nature is due to the personal beauty of the Lord. All these beautiful things we see in this material nature is nothing but the personal beauty of the Lord. And this is what the Lord, devotees, when they see, they get ecstatic. Akrura, when he had come to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balram to Mathura, there also he saw the wonderful, beautiful form of the Lord. And he was in ecstatic, he was in ecstasy, and he was rolling on his ground, on the ground where the Lord walked around. You see that the devotees doing that also. They roll and then they take the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. So this verse is again describing on the variegatedness and the variety, that how the Lord is manifesting. He increased the pleasure of Lord Brahma in his meditation. When we say that there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad, Evam prasanna manasa bhakti yoga pravijita, in Bhagavad. Evam prasanna manasa, mind is prasanna. Why it is? Because bhakti yoga pravijita, because it's occupied in bhakti. The more the mind is occupied in bhakti, the more one is in great happiness, is wonderfully charged up with so much of happiness because he's engaged in devotional service. Intelligence grows in devotional service, but if intelligence becomes incomplete if it is not surrendered to the Lord. We all have our intelligence. And we all like our intelligence to grow. That is why we see we get ourselves educated in school, college, and then further post-graduation, and then further PhDs. Why? Because it gives us some, some happiness. But if it is that intelligence, if it is not surrendered to the Lord, then it is incomplete. Because it will only increase your ahankar. It will only increase your pride. There was one devotee who was saying a doctor came to the temple and he paid obeisance and told the doctor, you also pay obeisance. He was hesitant. He didn't want to pay obeisances. He didn't want to bow down. He didn't want, bowing down means to surrender. He didn't want to surrender, something like this. So, because he was puffed up, he was a doctor, he was educated. So. The more it is, some devotee was saying that the more you get educated, the more you should bow down, you should realize that we are nothing but Anu. We are, and Vibhu, Krishna is great and I am Anu. I'm small. This is what transcendental knowledge does to us. It gives us the understanding that I am small. It makes us humble. And Vibhu, Krishna is great. Not that Krishna enjoys that he wants to be, great and he wants to take service. On the other way, Krishna wants to serve you. This is the beauty of bhakti. There is give and take from both the sides. Krishna accepts service, Krishna also wants to serve. But if you ask the devotee doesn't want to get served by Krishna. But this is the nature of the Lord. So in this verse, we see that the Lord is unlimited in length and breadth and occupies the three planetary systems, upper, middle, lower. His body was self-illuminated by unparalleled grace and variegatedness and was properly ornamented. So Brahma could see all this. And when he sees all this, he's getting more ecstatic. Like Dhruv Maharaj. You can all remember the story of Dhruv Maharaj. Dhruv Maharaj wanted a planet bigger than his grandfather, that is Brahma. But when he was meditating, after Narad Muni told him, so he was meditating on the Lord. After so much of austerity, he saw the Lord within his heart and he was ecstatic. But when the Lord disappeared, he was like, he was disturbed. And then, as soon as he opened his eyes, he saw the same Lord that was within his heart. He saw on Garud, and he became so ecstatic. And when the Lord touched him, and then he spoke those wonderful verses where he said that what I was looking for was broken pieces of glass. By just having your association, what I desired, a planet bigger than my grandfather, I have now got you. So this is what the Lord's presence does to devotee. They become ecstatic, they become happy. Evam prasanna manaso. So this is the verse, text 25. Any questions here on this? Or any clarifications here? Text 26. Pumsam swakamaya vivikta marge abhyarchatam kama duhangri padmam pradarshayantam kripaya nakindu mayukabinan gulicharupatram. Yes, Prabhu, translate.
Anyone wants to read, please, or shall I go ahead?
Yeah, who's reading?
Myself, K. Rao Prabhuji. I'm just asking whether anybody wants to read.
Yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna. Translation. The Lord showed his lotus feet by raising them. His lotus feet are the source of all awards achieved by devotional service, free from material contamination. Such awards are for those who worship him in pure devotion. The splendor of the transcendental rays from his moon-like toenails and fingernails appear like the petals of a flower. Purport. The Lord fulfills the desires of everyone just as one desires. Pure devotees are interested in achieving the transcendental service of the Lord, which is non different from Him. Therefore, the Lord is the only desire of the pure devotees, and devotional service is the only spotless process for achieving His favor. Srila Rupa Goswami says in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 that pure devotional service is Jnana Karmadi Anvratam. Pure devotional service is without any tinge of speculative knowledge and fruitive activities. Such devotional service is able to award the pure devotee the highest result, namely direct association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna, according to the Gopala Tapani Upanishad, the Lord showed one of the many thousands of petals of his lotus feet. It is said, Brahmano sau अनवर्तितं मे ध्यायता स्तुता परार्धन्ते सो बुद्ध्यता गोपवेशोमि पुरुषसत् आविर्बभूव. After penetrating for millions of years, Lord Brahma could understand the transcendental form of the Lord Sri Krishna in the dress of a cowherd boy, and thus he recorded his experience in the Brahma Samhita in the famous prayer Govindam Adipurusha Tamaham
Tamaham
Bhajami.
Bhajami. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So here, the Lord is showing his lotus feet by raising them. His lotus feet are the source of all awards achieved by devotional service, free from material contamination. So, the Lord's lotus feet is what generally devotees aspire to see, to touch, to glorify. We see in verses in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord's lotus feet is being glorified. Not only just the Lord's lotus feet, but the devotee's lotus feet also, by Prahlad Maharaj. He says that if one wants to grow in devotional service, one must take the Raja Abhishekam, Raja Pad Abhishekam. One has to take the Abhishek of the dhuli of the pure devotees of the Lord. If one wants to grow in devotional service, one has to do that. Which means what? One has to then go to spiritual places, meet with sadhus, hear from them, serve them, and that way increase in devotional service. When you get an opportunity, what in Dubai, we are so fortunate that so many devotees come. Out of the 52 weeks in a year, more than 40, 45 weeks, we have wonderful sadhus coming, Prabhupada disciples coming. So we have to take their Rajpad Abhishekam. And we Abhishek, we have to put that in our whole body. That's the point. Now, why the lotus feet of the Lord? The lotus feet of the Lord, why the lotus feet of the Lord that we have to worship is because it actually denotes submissiveness. It denotes humility. The lotus feet of the Lord are just like the lotus that are within this material world. It is within the muddy places, but it is not touched by the muddy water. Similarly, the Lord's lotus feet are like the lotus within this material world, the muddy existence that we are in. By just having the Lord's lotus feet, by touching, by being there with the Lord's lotus feet, then what happens is we are liberated. Our devotional service increases just by the lotus, by just seeing, by just touching the lotus feet of the Lord. In our mood of submissiveness and humility, that's why it is said when we actually have darshan of the Lord, we should see the lotus feet of the Lord and then gradually go towards the lotus face of the Lord. By just having the darshan of the lotus feet, the mercy is received because mercy flows from downwards. The mercy of the Lord is flowing downwards. That's why we see the Ganges. The Ganges is also flowing, but it has touched by the lotus feet of the Lord. Similarly, we receive also knowledge through, as we had discussed before, Avaroha Panta, by the mercy of the devotee. So all of this that we receive is all coming downwards, the mercy. And with that mercy, we are able to grow in our devotional service. The fault that when we are in this path is sometimes the need for speculation. That's why Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, Jnana karmadi anavritam, anukulena krishnanusam bhakti uttamam. That it is bereft of any kind of speculative knowledge. There is no speculation at all. One is receiving it, one is analyzing it, assimilating it, and following it. And that's why application is important. So when one does this, then he grows in devotional service. And jnana karmadi, he wants some fruit of result? No. All he wants is to just please the Lord. He just wants to. This is the purity of devotional service. Just by doing this, without speculative knowledge, without any fruit of result, what happens is, then you are established in pure devotional service. I remember when we came to devotional service many, many years back. At that time, we came to Dubai of course, to locate for a job. And, I was very fortunate to meet devotees in my first day of Dubai. And it was Janmashtami, and we happened to meet them. But the purpose was to get a job, material purpose. So they said to chant, and I started chanting. And I had questions, of course, we would ask questions and we would get answers. And the beauty was that all devotees were giving answers from the Bhagavad Gita. So we used to chant. So the purpose was to do devotional service, but to get some material benefit. And slowly what happened is that You then got a job, and then you engaged in devotional service, and then you keep associating with devotees, and you keep growing. Not that the purpose, the material desires are not there. Not that I've become a very pure devotee, but I can say that it has been minimized. You kind of get contented. You kind of feel that, external, hankering for position, wealth, money, property, all of this. After some time, in maturity, you start feeling that do you really need all of this? Do you really need all of this? Because when you say, if you see a minimum is all right. Now, who defines the minimum? I mean, say everyone has got different wants. We also see this specifically when you actually shift a home. There are so many things that you've accumulated. I mean, say, we all would have realized this. There are so many things that you've accumulated. And we feel that there is no need for all of this. So similarly, in our lives, we have accumulated so much baggage, so much luggage, that it's so difficult for us to give it up. This is where, as a devotee, you start analyzing, are you really growing? Are you getting really contented? Are you being satisfied with whatever you have by Krishna's mercy? Is enough. This thought process is something for us to all analyze. Each of us will have different desires, but in those desires, just see how much is it helping ourselves in devotional service. If it is not helping ourselves in devotional service, it's not helping us to become more advanced, if it is not helping us to become more contented, then there is something wrong somewhere, and then we have to have course correction. And for that course correction, you have these classes, you meet with devotees, and that's where sadhus come in. Sadhus come in so that your doubts, certain things that you're struggling, you ask them and then they help us. So that's why here, if you see the translation, the Lord has showed his lotus feet by raising them. And in the lotus feet are the source of all awards achieved by devotional service. And what is that awards that you achieve by devotional service? What you start loving the one. This is important. We've all left him. You start loving devotees. This is something that we because of Prabhupada, we got ISKCON, we know the association of devotees is so important. And we would have been bereft of all of this. And Pandita Samadarshana, the aspect of love and respect to everybody, not just devotees, but to everybody. This is how devotee grows in his devotion. These are awards of devotional service. Why people like to be with devotees? The reason is because they're the most wonderful people in the world, because they, a pure devotee I'm talking, and this is what we should aspire for. We do have sometimes like contaminations, but these contaminations have to go. But when we get a chance to meet pure devotees, this is what we see, that he's kind, he's merciful to everyone. Prabhupada is kind and merciful to everyone. He took the struggle to go to US for helping so many of us. I mean, we were not there, but we got what Prabhupada gave mercy to his devotees, his disciples, and his disciples are giving to us. So if Prabhupada had not gone there, what would have happened to us? So this is what a devotee does. And these are awards that we receive. And in these awards, you feel so satisfied. You feel so happy. Like Subal Prabhu here, he is conducting these classes. His mood is to try and see that everyone becomes nice devotees. Maybe even better than him. And this is what devotees aspire. We all have a different taste. Some like philosophy, some like music, some like entertainment, dramas, this, that. So all of this is different taste, and everyone are all individuals, and we have our variety. So all of this devotional service helps and increases our devotional service because nothing material will help us. Nothing material will help us and please us. Prabhupada explains that material happiness is something like a honey on a on a on a knife. Like there's honey on the knife and then you lick it. So I mean, say, how is it? I mean, say, there's a little bit of honey that gives you a little bit of maybe, I don't know, happiness or maybe no happiness. But surely there is suffering because you're licking on the razor, on the knife. So that is material life. So you get these awards and free from material contamination. This is what material contamination does. So we hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord. One devotee was saying that generally, what would you like to hold? Would you like to embrace? In discussion about the form and formless, he said, "What would you like? Like to embrace the form, or you like to embrace the electricity? Electricity is formless, I mean, but so you get current from that. What will you get? Current. But when you actually embrace the Lord, beautiful form, uh, then you know that there is a person and you're embracing them. Just like if you go to Vitthal, Pandharpur, before it used to be where you could embrace Vithala, but now not so much because of so many devotees coming. So they've said no. So we just have darshan, but you could embrace the Lord. Even Jagannath Puri, during Rath Yatra, before they would allow you to go up and then you could embrace the Lord, but not anymore. Now they don't allow you. So, in this verse, the Lord is being kind, He's showing His lotus feet. We all aspire to hold on to the lotus feet. We get these awards because of devotional service. Our material contamination is going away. And those, as he said, such awards are for those who worship in pure devotion. So if you want to receive these awards in full, then our devotion should be pure. The splendor of transcendental rays from the moon like toenails and fingernails appear like the petals of a flower. There's a more beautiful description about the Lord's toenails as well. Who looks at nails and you say, no, when we take off the nails from our lotus feet. But here even the toenails of the Lord are glorified, so beautiful. Everything of the Lord is so beautiful. Even the Srivatsa, the Srivatsa is the gray hair on the body on the chest of the Lord. The chest of the Lord, around the nipple area, the hairs are growing. So that's like white in color. And that's where Lakshmi Devi said. So that's so beautiful. So the Lord's hair is there. So beautiful. And that's why it's called Srivatsa. And that's where Lakshmi Devi sits. So this is the verse where the Lord is giving his, showing his lotus feet to give more mercy to Brahma and to increase his ecstasy. Hare Krishna. Any questions here on this?
Prabhu, all this is happening within the heart of Brahma.
Yes. Everything internalizing. The Lord is revealing everything. Tene Brahma Adi Kavaye. Everything is within the heart. Nothing external. He's meditating and he's enjoying. And these are descriptions that are being glorified.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Text 27. Okay. मुखेन लोकार्ति हरस्मितेन परिस्फुरत् कुण्डलमण्डितेन शोणायितेन दरबिम्बभासा प्रत्यारयन्तं सुनसेन सुब्रुवा. Yes.
He also acknowledged the service of the devotees and vanquished their distress by his beautiful smile. The, ref- the reflections of his face, decorated with earrings, was so pleasing that because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. Devotional service to the Lord is very much obliging to him. There are many transcendentalists in different fields of spiritual activities, but devotional service to the Lord is unique. Devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. Even the most desirable liberation is refused by the devotees, although offered by the Lord. Thus, the Lord becomes a kind of debtor to the devotees, and he can only try to repay the devotees' service with his ever enchanting smile. The devotees are ever satisfied by the smiling face of the Lord, and they become enlivened. And by seeing the devotee so enlivened, the Lord Himself is further satisfied. So there is continuous transcendental competition between the Lord and His devotees by such reciprocation of service and acknowledgement.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
How beautiful. The Lord is smiling and he's giving his smiles, and that is vanquishing all the distress if the devotee has. He's acknowledging the service of the devotee. And by his smiling, Smayamanam, like there's another verse in Bhagavatam, Smayamanam abhidhyayet, sa anuragavalokanam. Smayamanam, Smaya is smiling. Smayamanam abhidhyayet, abhidhya, dhyan. One has to meditate always that the Lord is smiling. You never seen Krishna uh, 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 not smiling. He's always smiling. Yes, in certain situations where, where in the battle of Kurukshetra, where, Bhishma is throwing the arrows, he takes the chariot in rage, he comes. Similarly with Narasimhadev in his avatar, where he kills Hiranyakashipu. There he is angry, but otherwise the Lord is always smiling. Because he's always happy. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. He's always happy. What is that? The Lord is Anandamaya Abhyasa. He's always happy. Anandamaya. Similarly, the devotee also Anandamaya Abhyasa, always happy. You never see devotee morose. If he's morose, means because he's got his devotional service, sadhana is not proper. Yes, the only time when a devotee is sad is when he doesn't have association of devotees. When he misses his Guru Maharaj, when he misses serving devotees, this is when he feels little morose. Otherwise, he is always happy. So here, the Lord is giving his beautiful smile. The reflection of his face decorated with earrings was so pleasing because it dazzled with the rays from his lips and the beauty of his nose and eyebrows. Everything is so beautiful of the Lord. So this Brahma is seeing. And we are fortunate also, right? We are also seeing the Lord, correct? Prabhupada has given us such wonderful temples, such wonderful deities, correct? That we can see the Lord. Someone says, why should we go to the temple? Kyun jana chahiye temple? For this reason, where we can see the Lord face to face. We can see the beautiful decoration of the Lord. We can acknowledge the service that the devotees are doing to the Lord. By doing this, we become happy. This is why we must go to the temple of the Lord. Another reason why we should go to the temple, not only just see with our ears, but see with our ears. Not only just see with our eyes, but see with our ears. This is why Shravan is important. This is why Prabhupada made Srimad Bhagavatam class every day, morning and then evening Bhagavad Gita. That you come to the temple, you see the beautiful darshan, but you also sit down after darshan arti and then hear about the beautiful description about the Lord and then get into ecstasy. Then be happy. This is why. And then smile. Naturally, when you're happy, you will smile. But the Lord is smiling. One devotee was saying, the Lord is smiling in the temple. Why? Because people are not coming to serve the Lord, but people are coming for what? To try and remain in this material world, in this cesspool, in this place of material muddy area. Why do you want to be here? That's why the Lord is smiling. No one wants to go back home, back to God. No one wants to come and serve the Lord. No one wants to come and serve the devotees. In the uh, Brihad Bhagavatamrit, when Gopal goes to Vaikuntha, the Lord is saying, I was waiting for you for so long. So the Lord is waiting for all of us so long. But how are we qualified to go? We are qualified because we want to serve the Lord unconditionally. Whether He puts us there, He doesn't put us there, He puts us back in this material world, no problem. When the Lord was giving benedictions to, as it is mentioned here, that devotees do not ask anything from the Lord in exchange for their service. They don't ask. Like Prahlad, when Nrsimhadev was saying, okay, ask for something, I'll give you both. He said, I'm not a mercantile man, I'm not a businessman, I'm not a merchant, I'm not a baniya. I don't want in exchange for what I'm doing. I just want to serve you, Lord, unconditionally. This is the mode of a devotee. And this is how the devotees engage themselves devotionally. And seeing this beautiful mode of the devotee of the Lord reciprocates with a smile and wants to serve the devotee. He makes the devotee happy by removing his distress, and then he sees the devotee smiling. And by seeing the devotee smiling, the Lord is also smiling. The devotees don't want anything. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his verse, as the mood of a devotee, Nathanam, Najanam, Na Sundarim. I don't want dhanam. I don't want sundarim. I don't want followers. I don't want money. I just want to serve you. This is a big level of devotion, means a very high level of devotion. This is what we should aspire for. And this is where our analysis come in, that are we getting satisfied? Are we getting contented? This is what is important. So anyway, I think it's 11:17. We have many verses to go. So I think let's do a couple of verses, few more, and then if there are any questions, we take. Let's do 28. Is there any questions? Since the time is less, let's do the. Okay, let me read it very quickly. Kadamba kinjal kapishanga vasasa swalan kritam me kalaya nitambe harena chananta dhanena vatsa Srivatsa vaksha stalavallabhena. Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna. Translation. O my dear Vidura, the Lord's waist was covered with yellow cloth resembling the saffron dust of the kadamba flower, and it was encircled by a well-decorated belt. His chest was decorated with the Srivasa marking and a necklace of unlimited value. Jai Shri
Yeah, so the more the beauty of the Lord is being described here. We just described about Srivatsa marking, that is the beautiful white hair on the chest of the Lord. His waist was covered with yellow cloth resembling the saffron dust. The kadamba flower is generally yellow in color, so that's the saffron dust of the kadamba is reddish, yellowish color. So this is more further the Brahma is describing the form of the Lord. Let's go to the next verse. Prarardhya Keyura Mani Praveka Paryasta Dordanda Sahasra Sakam Avyakta Moolam Bhuvanangri Petram Mahindra Bhoge Adivitavasam. Yeah.
And the sandalwood tree is decorated with fragrant flowers and branches. The Lord's body was decorated with valuable jewels and pearls. He was the self-situated tree, the Lord of all others in the universe. And as a sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so Lord's body was also covered by hoods of Ananta. The word mulam is significant here. Generally, no one can see the roots of a tree, but as far as the Lord is concerned, He is the root of Himself, and because there is no other separate cause of His standing, but he himself. In the Vedas, it is said that the Lord is Swaraksh, Swaraksha. He is his own support, and there is no other support for him. Therefore, Avyakta means the Supreme Lord himself and no one else.
Yeah, so here again it's further described about the Lord's body, very nicely decorated with flowers, and the example is given of a sandalwood tree. It's covered with fragrant flowers. So the Lord's beauty and this fragrance, like the Sanat Kumaras, the four Kumaras, the fragrance of the tulsi leaf placed on the lotus feet of the Lord is what they smell, and they got attracted to the Lord. He was the self-situated tree, the Lord of all others of the, and as a sandalwood tree is covered with many snakes, so the Lord's body is decorated with the hoods of Ananta. Here also, it is said he is the root of himself. No one is the cause of Krishna. There is a cause for all of us. But if someone says, who is the cause of Krishna? Bhagwan ko kaun banaya? Bhagwan. The Lord is himself, the root cause of himself. Interesting. In Badrinath, the Lord is meditating over there. So someone asked, Narad Muni, in fact, is asking, Lord, who you meditating? I mean, say you're meditating. You're the one who everyone meditates. So who you're meditating on? He said, I'm meditating on myself. So there he's depicting that we all have to meditate. We should all do the process of chintan, like in Vrindavan, it is said that chintan kar. Chintan on whom? Chinta mat kar, chintan kar. Chinta means you're thinking too much. Don't do too much thinking, but do chintan. Chintan of whom? Chintan of the Lord. So we should meditate on the Lord. So that's the point here, that he is the root of himself because there is no other separate cause of his standing, but he himself. In the Vedas, it is said that the Lord is Swa, Shraya, Shraya. He is his own support, and there is no other support for him. Yes, if there was a support for him, means what? It means he is dependent on that support. So he is completely independent. He is Swarat. Krishna, that's why in the starting of Bhagavatam it is said he is Swarat, he is independent. He is not dependent on him. Everyone else is dependent. That's why Brahma is expanding the universe. That's why he is called Brahma. But the Lord is called Brahman, means he is expanding everything, including Brahma. You understood? Brahma is expanding the universe, but the Lord is called Brahman. Brahman. Because he is expanding the Brahman. And within that expansion, who is there? Brahma is also there. So that's why he is called Brahman. So this is the point. Yeah, that no one is his cause. He is the cause of everything. Hare Krishna. Anything else here? It's 23. We go to text 30. चराचरोको भगवान महिद्रम अहिंद्र बंधुम सलिलोपगूधम किरीट सहस्र हिरण्य श्रृंगम आविर्भवत कौस्तभ रत्न गर्भम.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Like a great mountain, the Lord stands as the abode for all moving and non-moving living entities. He is the friend of the snakes because Lord Ananta is his friend. As a mountain has thousands of golden peaks, so the Lord was seen with the thousands of golden helmeted hoods of Anantanaga. And as a mountain is sometimes filled with jewels, so also his transcendental body was fully decorated with valuable jewels. As a mountain is sometimes submerged in the ocean water, so the Lord is sometimes submerged in the water of devastation. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Where the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he is saying is on the Garbha ocean. So here, how it is mentioned that all the great mountains, moving, non-moving, everything is visible. He is the friend of the snakes because Lord Ananta is his friend. As a mountain has thousands of golden peaks, so the Lord was seen with thousands of golden helmeted hoods of Ananta. Here, Sheshnag, Ananta, is being glorified as how Brahma is seeing that there's so much of the heads of Ananta is very nicely decorated. Just like the Lord is decorated so beautifully, his servants, Ananta is also very nicely decorated and with valuable gems. As the mountain is submerged, sometimes submerged in the ocean water, so the Lord is also sometimes submerged in the ocean, Garbha ocean, and from where all the 14 planetary systems are coming through the lotus stem, where the topmost is Brahma Lok, where Lord Brahma is situated. Anyway, okay, next, text 31. निवित्तमम्नाय मधुव्रतश्रिय स्वकीर्तिमय्या वनमालया हरिम् सूर्येन्दुवै अग्नियगमं त्रिधामभि परिक्रमात् प्रादनिके दुरासदम्.
Lord Brahma, thus looking upon the Lord in the shape of a mountain, concluded that he was Hari, the personality of the Godhead. He saw the garland of flowers on his chest, glorified him with Vedic wisdom in sweet songs, and looked very beautiful. He was protected by the Sudarshan wheel for fighting, and even the sun, moon, air, fire, etc., could not have access to him.
Yeah, the Lord, Brahma is again seeing the beautiful form of the Lord, how wonderful garlands he's wearing, how he's and he's glorified with Vedic wisdom in sweet songs. So here, what we can learn is that when we go to the temples, we see the beautiful form of the Lord. We generally have our prayers, and our prayers generally could be that we want something from the Lord. But generally, what the acharyas recommend is that there are two things that the acharyas recommend. One is that we do stutis, we glorify the Lord with the prayers of the devotees of the Lord. We glorify, and that is what is mentioned through Bhagavatam and many things, that we can glorify the Lord through stutis. That is one. And second is we do activities in such a way that the Lord is aspiring to see us. Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj says that when we do certain activities, what happens is devotional service. The Lord wants to see us. So you should do certain activities where the Lord can see us. So this is the point here. Anyway, last verse, I think text 32. Sorry. तरीहेव तन्नाभिसरसरोजम् आत्मन्नमम्ब स्वसनं वियच्छ ददर्श देवो जगतो विदाता नाथ परम लोक विसर्ग दृष्टिः.
Hare Krishna. Translation. When Lord Brahma, the maker of the universal destination, thus saw the Lord, he simultaneously glanced over creation. Lord Brahma saw the lake in Lord Vishnu's navel and the lotus flower, as well as the devastating water, the drying air, and the sky. All became visible to him. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah. So he's getting more vision, and that is because of whom? Because of the Lord. So what he's seeing the maker of the universal destination. He saw the Lord. He simultaneously glanced over creation. Lord Brahma saw the lake in Lord Vishnu's navel, so much in detail that the navel of the Lord, and he saw the lake as well, and the lotus flower, as well as the devastating water, the drying air, and the sky, all became visible to him. Last verse for this chapter. सकर्म बीजम रज सुपारक्तः प्रजाश्रिष Shirshikshan iyad eva drishtva astod visarga bimukastam idyam ayat vartmani abhiveshitatma.
Lord Brahma, thus being surcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create, and after seeing the five causes of creation indicated by the personality of the Godhead, he began to offer his respectful prayers on the path of creative mentality. Even if one is in the material mode of passion, to create something in the world, he has to take shelter of the Supreme for the necessary energy. Thus, in the path of the successful termination of any attempt.
Yeah, so in anything that we have to do, we need these five reasons or five causes. And what is that? The Lord, Ishwar, has to be there. Jiva, that is we living beings. Place, Prakriti, Kala, and then the creative thought process, what we have to do. That is karma. So, here it is mentioned, thus being surcharged with the mode of passion, became inclined to create after seeing the five causes of creation indicated by the personality of God. He began to offer his respectful prayers on the path of the creator mentality. So this is a learning for all of us. When we sometimes when we speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, we pray to Guru Maharaj, we pray to Krishna. We begin our devotional service of worshipping the deities, Manglarti, we take the mercy of the devotees. When we start any discussion, anything in devotional service, we always take permission, we always glorify, we always pray. When we do this, then there is definite success. Success, not what you are expecting. There is 100% success. Whether there is what you're expecting you have received is there or no, it is successful because devotional service is always successful, not the result. What you're doing in devotional service is always successful. So, in material world, whatever we do, there has to be a success result. Otherwise, you are considered a failure. But in spiritual life, whatever you have done uh, will always stay and will always grow and continue unless and until you do some of that. So, this is an important point here. And anything that we do, we begin with, we have to pray and think about the Lord. That's why in these five causes of any activity, Ishwar is there. Important that the Lord is there within the center of our lives. And this is very important. So, in conclusion, because time is already 3 minutes past. So, in these verses, Lord Brahma was bewildered. He didn't know. He went up, he meditated. The Lord appeared in front of his eyes, in front of his, after his meditation, the Lord appeared within his heart. And he was seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. The Lord was slowly and steadily increasing his ecstasy. He showed his lotus feet by which the mercy flows, where he can hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord. And then what happens? You smile. So the devotee saw the Lord was smiling, and in turn, he was distressed and he became ecstatic. He was happy. So he started smiling back. And that's the beautiful relationship between devotees and the Lord. And then further on with these verses, you can see that Brahma is more glorifying not only the Lord, that he glorifies Ananta, the Ananta Shesh, his expansion, his bed, and then finally he begins to create because he because after seeing the five causes of creation, and that way then he will begin the process of creation. So with this, I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. So if there are any questions, maybe a few minutes, please take, or something that you'd like, you can please share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was wonderful to take so many verses today itself. But thank you so much.
I was just running to try and complete within time, so maybe I didn't give justice. Hare Krishna.
Anybody has any question?
Or anything that you like, you can share something.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Dandavat
yes.
Pranam.
Wonderful.
Prabhuji, thank you for this wonderful class. I mean, just I just loved the thing that internally the things were being seen by Brahma. I mean, I have never heard such a thing. I heard it for the first time. And one thing that I could not understand was in the last verse, devastating ocean. Devastation, why devastating ocean? Matlab, I could not understand why that adjective devastating.
Yeah, the reason is why, because these universes will be submerged in this in the Garbha ocean. Before the lotus feet that had risen, if you read the verses previously, you can see that these worlds were already within the Garbha ocean. Just like uh, the each universe that is there is emanating from what? From the Karna ocean. The Mahavishnu is lying, and from his breathing, each of these breathing out, bubbles are formed. So, when bubbles are formed, it is each cosmic universe, and then the Lord enters as the Garbha ocean, as the Garbhodaksha Vishnu in another ocean where he is lying down. So there is an ocean where Mahavishnu is breathing out and bubbles of universes are being formed. And each of these universes, the Lord then expands further as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Why is he called Garbhodaksha? Because he's on the Garbha Sagar. So within the sagar, there is another sagar, and that is the Garbha ocean. So all of these universes, all of this ocean which is there at the time of devastation, all of them will then again go back into the body of Mahavishnu. So that is why it is depicted as the ocean where there is devastation. Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Prabhu, thank you very much. Please
Hare
keep
Krishna.
coming. Meaning, if you are available every week, I will love to call you every week also.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Where
Krishna.
are the others? They are all there? Or? Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Because
Sushil Prabhu,
I could hear Sushil, I think Sushil Prabhu reading, and who else was reading?
Rao
K.S.
Prabhu read.
Rao Prabhu was reading, and who else? Anyway, maybe they're all shy. Just like how the Lord gave darshan, I think it's nice to also have darshan.
Yes, Prabhu, you are right actually. Switching on the camera, we should start doing that. Yes.
Yeah, or just even just seeing devotees is so nice,
Yes.
Just seeing that. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Okay. Oh, there,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Ah, there, Subal Prabhu. Okay, Haribol. Who's that? Amrit Madhav Das. Hare Krishna. Hare Amrit Prabhu.
Apna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Saudi wale.
यस प्रभु जी
Haribol. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sushil ji. Thank you, Sushil Prabhu. And then K.S. Rao Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhu, we met in Moorish restaurant once.
Ah, okay.
Long back, I was with my family, and you also with your family was there. And I then went to you to say that I am attending your class and all that.
Oh, is it? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't remember. Who paid the bill?
No, no. You paid your bill, I paid my bill.
We individually paid our bills. Hare Krishna. Unfortunate, Prabhu, that restaurant is closing
Closed
down.
now. Yeah, it is closed
Closed
now.
down. It is such a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
Very good restaurant the devotee had made.
Actually, when you reached there, now we got an incentive. Yes, this is a place where we can eat.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Okay. Thank you. Nice seeing you all. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा
Very
थैंक यू
much. Thank you so much.
Hare Bol.
Let's chant Vaishnav Pranam Mantra and pay our respects to Prabhu. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam.
Krishna.